guys? Chris Everett here with the Gap Toledo for another installment of Saturday Stories. Today I wanted to talk about the correlation between mental health and substance abuse. To start this off, I'm going to read something here from the Addiction Centers of America. Considered one of the nation's greatest health epidemics by many in the medical field, suicide is one of the top leading causes of death in the United States, especially among young people. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death among all Americans, but it's the third leading cause of death of Americans aged 10 to 14, and the second leading cause of deaths for Americans aged 15 to 34. In 2015 alone, 44,000 Americans died of suicide. Remember last week I told you that in 2020, over 90,000 people died of overdoses. It continues here. Suicide and addiction and depression have a very close interconnected relationship. More than 90% of the people who fall victim to suicide suffer from depression or have substance use disorder. 90%. That's a ton. Depression and substance abuse combine to form a vicious cycle that all too often leads to suicide. Many who experience such severe depression as a result of major depression, bipolar disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and other conditions. I can say from my personal experience, my mental health said a whole lot about where my drug addiction was going. When my mental health got bad, inevitably the drug addiction got worse. And I see this time and time again. One reason I decided to do this today is because I would say probably 20% of the calls I get are from people who do have some sort of substance abuse disorder, but are currently suffering from a mental health crisis. When that happens, I generally, the only option is to take them to the hospital and get them stabilized. Some people don't know the difference when they're in crisis. I mean, it's a crisis. I can tell you that just in the past year alone, I've known 4 people who were drug addicts or alcoholics who have committed suicide. That's a crazy number. People who walked right out of treatment and essentially walked right to their deaths. And we see it time and time again. Suicide is such a tragic way to go. I mean, overdosing of course is too. They're both leaving questions, lives interrupted, kind of just halted in their prime, with nothing but questions. So when it comes to mental health and drug abuse, I think it's important to note that when one is treated, the other may clear up. I know when I initially got sober, I felt insane. I think everybody kind of does. And for many, many years, my addiction would get confused with mental illness. I was bipolar, I was on meds, I stopped taking meds, I'd start again. And this cycle continues daily for so many people. So it's very hard to discern the two of them. There is a real stigma when it comes to drug abuse and mental illness. I know it's something that's been talked about a lot over the past few years especially, but there are still so many people that are suffering in silence with both of these things. Although they've come more to light, it's still an embarrassing thing when it shouldn't have to be. I completely understand that. Who wants to say I'm struggling, I'm depressed, I want to kill myself, or I've got an addiction to heroin or drinking. So it's just so important that we're able to reach out for help and know that it is available. I just want to encourage you guys, if you are struggling with any sort of mental health or drug abuse or both, to check in with a professional. Get on meds. If you need to be on meds, get on them, get stabilized, get right. We can't do it on our own. We absolutely can't do it on our own. I can just think kind of recently, in the past year, being asked to help clean out a friend's room who committed suicide, and just the sadness and the hopelessness and despair that were left behind. He wasn't alone. He couldn't see that though. I just want to encourage everyone out there that if you are struggling with depression, if you're struggling with substance abuse, to reach out to someone. It doesn't have to be us. But if you do, we'll get you to where you need to be. Thanks for coming out today. I know it's a short one. Been busy this week. More information at thegaptoledo.com. Have a great week.